From planes to boats to ATVs, ice skates, and of course the famous Batmobile. Batman's driven everything, and today here on Inside the Toy Room I'm counting down my top 10 Batman vehicles that have been released for toy purchase. So starting at number 10, we've got the Skywing Street Bike from Legends of the Dark Knight. Now, the Legends of the Dark Knight series is actually becoming one of my favourite toy collections, more as I look into them. The gothic feel of every single character and the different twist on them. In fact, I've just managed to get a really good purchase on 3 of these for a really cheap price online. I can't wait to bring them and feature them on this channel to you. For right now, we're taking a look at this Skywing. It's just like a big bat, and again, it's Batman's street bike, but again, the gothic look of this, it fires missiles. It's just a cool looking toy. As a kid, it's pretty cool to just play with the accessories and the look of it, and again, as I keep going back to the gothic look of it, but even as an adult collector, it's just got some charm about it that's really unique, and it fits so well within that Gotham DC Batman universe. Number 9, and we're turning to our first vehicle from the Batman animated series, and this would be the Ice Hammer. This is actually quite rare to get hold of. I've looked into it because obviously Mr. Freeze being my favourite villain, I want everything that goes along with Mr. Freeze, including the vehicles that are targeted against him specifically. Now, this was never featured in the cartoon itself, but of course Kenner released this as a toy for children to purchase, and you know, elderly collectors like me still trying to hunt down those old cool toys. It's a really cool little vehicle. It doesn't do anything in particular other than fire a missile and have a different look to it. Again, it's just one of those unique vehicles that was released by Kenner in the 1990s due to the success of the animated series. It's just got a really cool look to it, and yeah, that's why it's number 9 on this list. Number 8 on this list, and it's the first vehicle that's actually featured inside this toy room, and that would be DC Collectible Animated Series Batwing. Now, the original Batwing that was released in the 1990s was, of course, really cool looking from the animated series that was featured. I believe the first episode was on leather wings. It's the first time we see this, which is one of the very early episodes, if not the first episode. I'll have to fact check that one. When DC Collectibles first started releasing their stuff back in 2014, they soon released their vehicles the following year in 2015, and the Batwing was one of the first things that people wanted to get their hands on, myself in particular. I've covered this in my Batman animated series episode that my fiance actually got me this one Christmas, and I was so ecstatic. But the best thing about this is just the sheer size of it. I mean, just take a look at it. It's hanging right here. It is huge. It's got lights. It looks amazing. The detail of it. I love the matte black finish. Of course, the original one that was released in the 1990s, I believe in 1993, is that like dark indigo blue, the same as that original Batmobile, but we'll get to that in a bit. But this one has got that nice matte black finish, exactly as it appears in the animated series. It's got all the accessories in the cockpit, not that you know necessarily need to use them, but it's cool that it's got that level of detail on it. It's an absolutely incredible item, whether you're a kid or whether you're a collector. Number 7 on this list, and it's a favourite of pretty much everybody's, and that would be the 1989 Batmobile. Now, this toy, when it was released, was, I mean, it was the hot selling toy of that Christmas in 1989, along of course with some of the game systems. After the success of the 1989 Tim Burton Batman film, kids everywhere wanted to get their hands on this Batmobile. It was incredible. I mean, it's something I don't have in this toy room yet, but I do want to get my hands on it at some point just because it's such an iconic toy. It wasn't one that I actually got as a kid. It's something that I actually missed out on, I guess because of what year I was born and what year that film was released. So I missed out on this toy and the hype around it, so maybe that's why I haven't really sought after getting it inside this toy room just yet. The overall look of that Batmobile is one of my favourites. In fact, it's my second favourite looking Batmobile of all time. So yeah, it's something that I do need to add to this collection. Number 6, and sticking with the theme of Batmobiles, it would be the Batman Forever Batmobile. I absolutely love the look of this Batmobile. Said the 89 is probably my second favourite. I'd say the Batman Forever is my third favourite. The overall organic look of this, the funny story is that Joel Schumacher inspired the design of this by looking at a leather fetish magazine. But yeah, that's a different story. The actual look of the toy is really cool. It complements the style of the Batmobile in the film. I mean, as soon as you see that in a film, I was a 5-year-old kid, the first thing I wanted was to get my hands on that Batmobile. It just looked amazing. I never got it. My friend John did have it though, and we used to play with it quite often, and I just think it was the coolest thing ever. But yeah, I never got my hands on that one. In at number 5 would be the DC Collectibles animated series Batmobile, which I have right here. Now my long-term close friend Matt Myers got me this. Taking the look of the animated series toy, and I've covered this in the animated series episode, which you can check out right here. The size difference and the scaling difference is obviously huge. For example, on the original 1993 one, you can only get 1 action figure in, as well with this one you can get 2 in this amazing cockpit that's lit up with these cool blue lights. It's got a steering wheel. It's even got usable seat belts and a gear stick. I mean, again, going back to the detail that they put in these, it's pretty outstanding. The lights on the back of it are really cool. I love everything about this, the look of this. Again, they changed the colour to that cool matte black. It's a bit dusty at the minute. Trying to stay on top of dusting the stuff in your toy room is, you know, quite a task. But yeah, I love this. I mean, I got it when I was 26 and I played with it like I was 6. I was so excited when I got this. It was yeah, a really thoughtful gift, and it holds a very proud place inside this toy room. In at number 4, however, would have to still be the original. Possibly because of nostalgia purposes, because this was the very first Batmobile toy that I had as a kid. I loved it. And again, it's got that nice dark indigo blue colour to it, which the Batmobile in the animated series did have. Like I covered that the Batwing didn't have that colour. It was black in the animated series, but the Batmobile was this like cool shade of dark indigo blue. Something that I covered in the animated series episode is that I love that it has this little gimmick here. Batman's cape is pretty bunched up at the minute in here, but that it extends into a second cool little toy. As far as toys go, that's what a lot of this stuff is on this list. I think that makes a good toy. It might not necessarily mean it's the best overall Batman vehicle of all time, because they, you know, feature differently, whether it be in the comic books, cartoons or films. But in regards to playable toys, I mean, stuff like this is just amazing, right? And again, just the nostalgia of being able to have this from a child and still have it today as being the very first Batmobile toy that I ever had. Yeah, this is awesome. Number 3 on this list, and again sticking to something that's inside this toy room, is the Bat Hammer, which you can see has got these cool lights on it. The Bat Hammer was something that I really wanted to get my hands on when I started collecting the 1997 Batman and Robin figures, because it was a toy I wanted as a kid, and again, never did quite get my hands on. So yeah, I wanted to soon grab my hands on this. I remember seeing that that closing, well, it's the beginning of the finale of that film where all the vehicles are coming down after Freeze's frozen up Gotham City, and I saw this and was like, oh my god, where do I buy this and how much is it? I couldn't wait to get my hands on it as a kid, but for some reason I think it may have been in like the 3rd series wave of toys, so I just missed it, and by that time I probably moved on to something else. I thought this was so cool. They did such a good job in that film of just marking it as a big toy commercial, because I mean, look at this. This is so cool. Inside here you've got a cool little Batman and Robin logo. Nothing as detailed as the DC Collectibles stuff, obviously, because this is a 1997 toy, or maybe possibly 98 by the time this was released. But yeah, awesome. Fires cool little missiles, everything you'd expect from a 90s toy. Coming in at number 2, and something that I still don't have in this toy room, and I would if it wasn't for that goddamn jumble sale, would be the 1997 Batmobile. I've said before on this channel just how much I love that Batmobile. It's beautiful, it's slick, it's everything a Batmobile is to me. I remember having it as a kid, playing with it fondly. Can't wait to get it again inside this toy room. Just the overall design of that Batmobile was iconic to me. The open cockpit for the first time was so cool. The long bonnet, the glowing lights on it, everything about that Batmobile just stood out to me. And like I say, I was so blown away by that film as a kid in regards to wanting to go to Toys R Us and spill all my money, and the Batmobile was the first thing that I bought from the Batman and Robin 1997 film. It's just an awesome piece of plastic. I don't know what else to say about it. And coming in at number 1, going back to Batman Forever, and it would be the Batwing from Batman Forever. Now, in the beginning of the finale of that film, Batman reveals that, you know, after the Batcave has been destroyed, there's another part of the Batcave where he's got the prototype Batsuit, he's got a prototype boat, and a new Batwing after the first one had been destroyed, of course, in the 1989 film. The toy that Kenner released for this was incredible. They've taken it from the film and done it justice, and then they've just adapted it into this real cool toy. So going back to the Batmobile from the 1993 animated series that comes out, and you get another cool toy, right? Well, this does it twice, so you technically get 3 vehicles in one. Now, in the film, the Batwing gets like its wings shot in the air and then it dives into the sea, but then the wings just conveniently come off, light comes on, and it becomes like a submarine, and he goes and rescues Robin, and that's really cool, right? So of course they adapted that into the toy, but then they went one step further. You can pull the back of it out and it becomes, I guess, like a hovercraft or maybe like a jet ski. I'm not entirely too sure, but yeah, it looks amazing. Something that I don't have in this toy room yet, and I do want to get, and I kind of want to feature it exactly how it's featured when Batman reveals it in Batman Forever, where it goes, should I go by air or by sea? Looks really cool. I loved it. I loved the look of it back then. I love the look of it now, and the toy of it. It's just, my friend Scott Graham Bell got this recently and he uploaded it, and I was extremely jealous. So yeah, I'm gonna get my hands on it at some point and have it featured inside this toy room, because it's entered number 1 position on my top 10 list of Batman vehicle toys. Thanks for checking out this top 10 list on Inside the Toy Room. If you did enjoy this episode, please give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down if there was anything on the list that you think I missed out that's a personal favourite of yours. If you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so you're notified every single time that we upload a new episode to Inside the Toy Room. And if you want to check out some of our previous episodes, they're about to play after this catchy jingle right here.